cannot take
Biff,
a chance.
let's kick this off
Okay.
by wishing you exactly a 1 month belated birthday. Happy birthday
Thank you.
to you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Every day is my birthday. I always maintain every day is my birthday.
And
Every day.
and you celebrated your birthday by, I guess you officially released the album.
100% officially released the album that already had 3 singles out.
And so Biff, so I'm saying, okay, I've spoken to Biff twice on this podcast. And I'm thinking to myself, this album cover looks so familiar. I've seen it before. She's used this image before.
Yes.
And the last time we spoke was April of 2020,
Yes.
which I think was when you were supposed to release,
Yes.
or soon thereafter, but there was something that was happening in the world that took precedence. And so you
That's
decided not to
exactly a fact.
release. But tell me, was that's the reason it got delayed? I'm going to assume, I'm going to guess.
Oh,
Uh,
I would definitely. I mean, we wanted to release Champion. We
yeah,
had, everything, in our minds at that time, 2020, in place. February of 2020, Valentine's Day, we released Jim with a video for Jim, and it was, a very different song for me. It was a very cinematic video,
yeah,
and it was the first video and song I had put out at that time, quite a long time. It was something that I had been wanting to do for some time. And it was a big deal for me, just artistically. I don't know, as a female and as a female that was getting older, as I felt like I was getting older, I was self-conscious as a rock artist. It's not like a pop star, as a rock artist, I really wanted to, still be considered tough. It's not like it's not like the pop girls where you can just kind of, still be Cher and go out there in your bathing suit and Spanx and, go out there. You still want to be considered tough and you want to be, kind of have this, crazy on you by heart voice and, this stuff. And Jim was a bit of a departure. So I was, really nervous about it. And then the pandemic hit in March.
yeah.
And then we go on CMW. I had a curated night planned, my very first ever curated night for CMW. I was very excited about it. And then it got canceled. And it was like, what is happening? And then George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah.
And then it was like, stop. I don't want to put a record out. Stop right there. It was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. Like, there's no way the world needs a Bif Naked record. We need to put our bodies in the streets right now. It was
Yeah.
like, forget it. And I'm glad, you know, it just, the world shifted, everything shifted, and my perspective shifted. Things that were important to me shifted, and
Mm.
and it kept snowballing, and the whole world kept snowballing. In North America where we're living, it
Yeah.
really went bonkers. Things started to really go bonkers, and they needed to in many ways. But there became a public health crisis in Ontario. Particularly, we had stay-at-home orders from Doug Ford, and that was something that was that showed you all of the inequity in our
Mhm.
society.
Yeah.
And then a year passed, and then 2 years passed, and I didn't feel like putting a record out anymore, and I hadn't felt like putting one out for 10 years anyway. So I was like, yeah, it was a bad idea to begin with. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good. And we always toured in summer, but we kept pressing on and we kept recording. And
okay.
so there was that little flame that kept happening, and the songs that we started to do became better. And then my personal life went bananas at the same time. And yeah, my personal life imploded. And the record took a different shape. It started to really come together. Working with Doug, who I've been songwriting with since, I mean, Doug and Peter and I have been songwriting together since like Purge, since like Tango Shoes, and really going back to that same, I guess, raw emotion. I got to be in a lot of pain to write
To write.
hits. That's what my manager says. He says, "Man, you got to go through like a lot of pain to really get good songs out." So I'm really happy you're going through pain. I'm like, that's great. So, and that's really how it came together. And to have it come out now, to me, is like a dream come true.
Ah,
It's a miracle. It's a miracle that we're putting the record out. And I just am so proud of the guys for working so hard on it. And I can't honestly believe it. I can't believe it. And to sing it in public is, I never thought I'd be able to do it, because it was hard to sing in the studio. Doug worked me like a
oh wow.
dog, like a dying dog on the floor of the studio trying to sing these songs. And then to sing it, now we've come back from Ottawa and we've done the big Shiny Saturday show where I'd never sang Champion before at the title track. I never sang it, and I never sang it in public. And it was like, I mean, it's up there. It's up there like Spaceman's up there.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, it was like the most exhilarating, thrilling thing I think that I could ever do. It was like, I don't know, it's like robbing a bank. It's like the most thrilling thing you could do because you don't know how it's gonna go. It's either gonna go terribly wrong, or it's gonna work, or your vocal cords are just gonna work. And it's just, man, it was a thrill. So I can't wait for more. We've got shows booked like all summer long and into the fall. So it's really exciting.
Biff, I was just gonna say congratulations on the new release of your
Thank
album.
you. Thank you.
Just I wanted to ask you a question about your song Jim. So can you maybe elaborate on the inspiration behind this song and what message you hope for your listeners to take away from it?
Well, Jim really can be any name.
Mhm.
It's a song. I mean, a lot of my songs are always the same theme. They're either heartbreak or longing. They all have an underlying theme, which is basically me being the sucker. It's either heartbreak or I'm falling in love or I'm getting over love or I'm looking for love or I'm dreaming about love, because I never learned my lesson ever. And so Jim is definitely like a song of betrayal, and for the whole record to start with a cinematic, you know, born identity movie over the river, dark, kind of like keyboards where the whole line goes, "You never loved me, Jim." It's just like so, it just says it all, just puts it all out there. And anyone can have anybody's name there. It's a terrible revelation. The first line of the song is a terrible admission to oneself, really. And I think it's a reality check, and it's just an admission of betrayal. And there's a lot of that on this record, that I didn't realize
Hmm.
until it was pointed out to me in the second song, "Never No Never." Basically, I call the perpetrator Judas. And I'm not like a religious or anything like that. But it's just I love metaphors, and I just think that Jim it could be any name. It can be any name. It could be your boss. It could be the guy who, cut you off in 3 lanes of traffic. Every one of us has to live with being or feeling betrayed. And it's just like, being able to express that or to vent, or just to admit it to ourselves, I think is can be very empowering. But with the writing of that song, it was very cathartic.
Mm,
Wow.
This has nothing to do with my previous statement, but you look so cool and I want to look like you when I grow older.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I learned everything about makeup. I learned from my goddaughter. She's trying to teach me how to contour. They're always like, "You look really cakey." They're like, "You don't look
No.
dewy at all." She's trying to tell me to use moisturizer because I look cakey. I'm like, I look like Danny Trejo, the actor, because he has lines on his cheeks, and I always say that's the look I'm going for. I am not getting stuff to make it puffy. I'm just going to admit it that I look like that. I like a Mexican actor.
Oh my
That's what I
God.
want to look. That's what I'm going for. Okay, I'm okay with that. I can't imagine these actresses in California because they have to go to all these red carpet events. They go at 5 o'clock at night. Okay, let's be honest. That's daylight. Okay, they're
Yeah.
walking the red carpet in daylight. That's a no-no. I look at that and I learn. I go, no, I'm not going to go to those. It's a simple thing. And they always say, how do you do it? You keep dyeing your hair, right? Look at the Bollywood actresses. You keep dyeing your hair. Look at Liz Taylor, right? 80, black hair. Hey, I'm in. I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just keep dyeing my hair, just year after year after year. Just keep doing it. I'm okay with that. My grandmother did it. I'll do it. I'm good. That's it. Easy.
Yesterday you played Ottawa. Was it yesterday or this
It was
weekend?
Saturday. It was
Sat
Saturday.
Saturday you played
Yeah.
Ottawa. The weekend before you did the Toronto show, right? The big shiny tunes.
Yeah.
How was it coming back and playing big shows again in crowds and not I know you had done some unplugged stuff earlier on, but this
Yeah.
is how is it playing some of these I want to say louder shows?
They're great. We do it every summer. So every summer we do the festivals and we tour. We've been filming a documentary for almost 4 years. And
Ah,
last year, the documentary was following us on tour last summer, and they film us doing these concerts. Um, we filmed at a place in Vancouver called the Rickshaw last year, which was just a phenomenal show. Vancouver is still kind of considered my hometown in many ways.
yeah,
So it was just very, just that feeling of that pandemonium, that urgent, insane, sweaty, it's great. I never lose that feeling. I never lose that nervous energy. Every show is the same for me. I never lose that feeling. And next month it's the same thing. We're going, Calgary's already sold out, and we're playing a big festival with the headstones in Rimney,
nice.
and we're playing in Grand Prairie, and then we're going back to BC again. The same thing in Vancouver and on Vancouver Island, and then coming back here. Um, so I mean, it's all I've done. So I have to laugh because it's all I've done since I was 18. I dropped out of my first year of university to go on tour. And my father, may he rest in peace, he said, sit there looking at me and say, when are you going back to school? I really don't care if you're on Letterman. I don't care. He's like, when are you returning to your studies? That's all he cared about. He had his master's in public health. And he was like, just become a hygienist. Like, just do something. Like, you cannot just do this. I was like, I will. I'm like, Daddy, I will. And well, it just hasn't happened yet.
Didn't
It's
you get
okay
a
though.
didn't you get like an honorary doctorate or something?
I
Do
have
I
two.
remember? You have
I have
two.
two. I have two now. And I think that I look at some of these cats, they have nine, they have 8, 9. I think I wonder if they count for anything. I wonder if I can apply for continuing education and just use those.
I
Like
think
maybe I can
so.
like, I don't think so.
No, you can't.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And sometimes they really frown upon you using the doctor prefix. Like some people did, like Dr. Maya Angelou. Some people were able to kind of segue and utilize that very well. Some of the schools, they're like, yeah, you know what? Go for it. You
Go
go
for it.
ahead. Some of them are like, go for it. Go ahead. Trust me. If I think that I'm getting a little bit, pushed around at the
This is
border.
Dr. Biff.
Yeah, they say, well, I need your ID. What's your email? I say, well, I'm gonna kind of pull it out. I'll pull it out of the wall. Yeah. And they say, oh, really? And what are you doing? Well, I'm a proctologist, don't you? Which is a lie, obviously. But I think that maybe I would go back to school one day. I don't really know what I would take, but I was in theater, obviously.
Yes.
But I was in theater.
I have a listener question for you, Biff.
Okay.
This comes from Jennifer Johnston. She's a good friend of the show. So she asks, would love to know how Biff handles all the behind the scenes operating requirements that are now placed on musicians versus the early days when a more traditional marketing landscape existed and support infrastructure was more accessible. Now you've been doing stuff.
I'm laughing. I start laughing.
You've been doing stuff on your own all the time, but
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the band used to have to pull over the van at a payphone when we were on tour. Like we would have to like time the drives because we would drive all across Canada or the States or Europe, and they would have to time it so that I would pull over. I had a piece of paper. We would have to pull over at a gas station or a payphone so that I could do my phone interviews. And I would have to like stand at the payphone and do my phone interviews. And we would time it for the drives. And that's what I had to do, period. I mean, that's always what we've done.
Yeah.
We had no cell phones on tour, and I didn't have a computer. Actually, I don't have one now. I don't have a television now. I don't watch TV. I don't have a laptop because I don't like them. I had one. It kind of doesn't really work. I think I have 25 gigabytes left on it. I don't really know how to clear it. So I just don't use it. But yeah, I don't know. I think that I've just kind of always done my best. I think that lots of artists just do their best. There are some artists that are happy to have other people help them do their stuff or do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. But I just always kind of just like to try just to do it myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, doing your own grocery shopping, or I don't know, driving your little inconspicuous car that you like. I don't know. I'm not great at it, but I try and do it. I'm not that technical, obviously, and sometimes it's hard. Like Twitter used to be great. I was very, very dedicated on Twitter. And then a couple of years ago, Twitter got to be kind of funny for me. For some reason, Twitter for me got really crazy. I started getting a lot of terrible messages in the direct messages, and then it just got absolutely insane, just absolutely like bonkers, bananas.
Wow.
And then now I hardly go on Twitter at all.
Now you're hardly there. What keeps you throughout this whole conversation, Biff? You've been smiling, you've been laughing. There's a lightness to you that I think, at least for me, I've always seen this of you. What keeps you so positive, so hopeful? Where does this come from? Or am I reading too much into it?
I'm not smart. No, I'm just not smart. I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think that, I'm generally a pretty positive person. I think we all are. If you have a pet, you're probably a happier person than if you don't, generally. And I think that if you're a pragmatic person in general, you probably err on the side of being positive. I don't know. I guess it's just a kind of a default mechanism for me. I mean, granted, I think lots of us have good days and bad days. I don't know. You're a positive person.
I guess.
I think so. I think you're a positive person. We both know Eric. Eric's a pretty positive person. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of positive people.
Yeah. I guess you are who you hang out with. You are, you just said you're not watching television. You know, that probably
Well,
keeps the positivity, right?
well, no, I mean, if I go into if we're on tour and we go into a hotel room, and I can speak for my friend and drummer also, Chico's the same way. If we get into a hotel lobby or into a waiting room for a plane or anything, if we see a TV, we do this. And we are just like children. We are just mesmerized. You can't, it doesn't matter what it is. And we think it's quite funny that we do that. But yeah, I just, when I'm at home, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I'm either I'm cooking, or I'm doing something for the dog, or, I'm cleaning, I'm doing laundry, I'm like busy. I'm trying right now to get rid of I write in notebooks for my schedule. I'm trying to be digital,
Look
very
at you.
difficult for me, very hard. I've taken that Apple Pencil back for a refund 3 times. 3 times.
They're
Because
not
I go,
taking it. They want your money.
no,
They
they
don't want to
keep
give it back
taking
to
it.
you.
No, they take it back every time. But I
Okay.
keep thinking I'm going to try and be digital. So I keep buying it. I need to be digital. And I go, yeah, I'm not going to use it. And I take it back. And so they take it back every time. And I go, I have to be digital.
One day, one day.
I need to.
There's a notebook called Remarkable.
Oh, my manager uses that. He loves it.
Okay.
He loves that.
Maybe that's your thing.
I don't know. It's another thing I have to carry around.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
know.
Well, listen, Biff, this is what I have. Look at this. Like just notebooks.
Same. That's what I have.
That's too much. Too many notebooks.
I keep them all too. I'm very sentimental. So I have stacks, bookshelves filled with them.
Are they labeled? Like, do you know what's in each
No.
one?
Oh,
See?
no, I don't. No.
Yeah, I hear it.
Sticker, Hello Kitty stickers, little stickers. Oh, yeah. No, like a teenager.
There's a show that I didn't know you were contributing to. I hate people. Is it I hate people, I hate me? Is that
I
right?
hate people, people hate me.
People hate me. I hate people,
Yeah.
people hate me.
Bobby Summers.
Yeah, tell me about getting involved in that. You've done some of the songs for
You know what? I was very, very lucky. The character that he wrote happened to be a Bif Naked fan.
What?
And so the character that he wrote happened to be a Bif Naked fan. And so luckily I was asked to be in one of the dream sequences and got to appear on that. And that was just so amazing. Everything was amazing. The costumes were amazing. The cast is amazing. The director is amazing. And of course, Bobby, just enormously talented. And it was such a dream. It was amazing. I mean, I don't know, CBC Jam, and award winning.
Yes.
Award winning. Yeah.
Congrats.
Very cool.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Are we going to I don't know, are you thinking not to wait so long to release another album? What are your thoughts on that? Or are you just taking it as it comes?
Well, this record, there are 3 dance remixes on a tail end of the record. 2 of them are of Champion. One is called the True Believers remix, and another one is called the March of the Freaks. And our remixes are all done by Adam Percy. I encourage you to go check them out. And because I've just been really lucky. Been able to put out eclectic records my entire career. This is no different. But, I love dance music. I always have. And
Okay.
we've done remixes for so long. And now we may or may not have a secret album coming down the pipe. And it may or may not be just filled with dance remixes and dance tracks. So keep your ear to the ground. That might be coming very soon.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
You've
always been involved in charities and in causes. What's one special one that you could let our listeners know about?
Oh, so many, so
Yeah,
many. Everyone knows that animal charities are very, very dear to my heart. I mean, I can't pick just one.
fair enough.
There's so many. There's so many. Um, so I would say in this area, um, Toronto Humane Society, um, they do amazing, amazing work. Um, please check them out. All of the shelters in Ontario are at capacity.
Hmm.
Um, if you can ever check them out, any of the shelters, their fostering programs need help, and of course, adopt a small animal, a big animal, doesn't matter. If you have room in your family or thinking about it, go for it. And there's another charity called Happy's Senior Dogs. And
Happies.
Happy's, just remember Happy's. And so sometimes when people go into long-term care, for example,
Hmm.
or if they pass away, a lot of people don't consider that some of these seniors, they have little pets. They could be an older pet or even a young pet, but when someone goes into long-term care, their pet can't go with them, and so sometimes the family members can't take the pet, and the pet may or may not wind up in a shelter.
Yeah.
And so Happy's steps in and will foster these pets until they can find them a forever home. So that's a really great charity that you could look into, Happy Senior Pets, and it's also senior pets.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
Biff, what
Yeah.
inspired you to get involved in charity work?
You know what? I always kind of just figured I was the one with the microphone, and
Mhm.
people just were kind of stuck listening to what I had to say because I was louder. And so that just kind of was a natural thing that happened. And the same with any of the health charities, because I had breast cancer, and because I was a patient, I was in the room and was, you know, I got a firsthand look at what was necessary and what was needed. And it was volunteering was needed. And so I got to see that that was a fact. And so I became a volunteer. If I had never had cancer, I wouldn't have known. If I had
Mm.
never been in the room, I would never have discovered that I had a passion for it. So I was, really glad that I learned all about becoming a peer support volunteer, or learning about the programs that they had for peer-to-peer volunteering in Vancouver. And then when I moved to Toronto, I discovered they had a lot of the same programs here in Ontario and at Princess Margaret.
And I mean, it must feel very rewarding as well.
Oh yeah, I mean anyone can tell you who does any volunteering that yeah, it's really gratifying to know that you're able to make a difference for someone. It's just heartwarming.
Mhm. And how do you manage to balance your career in the entertainment industry and along with like your extensive charity work?
It is not easy
Mhm.
sometimes. And I mean, this is what I say to everyone is it's hard, especially if people have a busy family, people are working full-time jobs, and then they have the commute. Um, People don't have time. Sometimes they only have the weekend or one day a week. If that's all you have, it's enough. And if all you can do is just even share a post on social media, it's still really helpful. It's still an amazing amount
Mhm.
of reach it can have without you even realizing it. So anything you can
Mhm.
do is going to be good.
Yeah, and I find that a lot of people are very scared of advocating for certain issues or just being vocal. So, what advice would you give to individuals who might potentially want to get involved in social justice or maybe some sort of activism, but just don't know where to start or what to do?
Well, it's like that saying, leap and the net shall appear. It's almost like, the more you dip your toe in,
Mhm.
the more comfortable you'll be. Just keep at it, and just take baby steps. It's slow and steady wins the race. You'll get comfortable after a while, and try little things. Like, again, share to your stories. If you don't want to make a post, share to your stories. It's just such an easy thing you can do. You know, share a link. Um, you know, you can really do it. And you can also, a lot of people say it's too wasteful to make flyers, but I really believe in flyers and handbills. You can just go to Staples and print out a flyer and leave flyers around in the coffee shop and stuff, or put it up on a community board or whatever, and just spread awareness. It really does make a difference, especially if it's something that is dear to your heart, something you're passionate about. It's going to make a difference.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Biff. Before
Mm.
I let you go, two last questions.
Okay.
You're in your inconspicuous car. Maybe you're driving to a grocery store, maybe you're driving to the next gig. What is Bif Naked listening to? What kind of music do you listen to in the car, or even at home, or when you're out and about?
Oh my gosh. Oh well. You know what? I actually it's so it's such a variety. I listen to a lot of CBC because
Okay.
I like to listen to the news on the top of the hour. So I always
Yeah.
listen to it on the top of the hour. But I listen to a lot of Shankar all the time because it really keeps me calm, and I love it. It's very grounding. It reminds me of my parents. Um, my goddaughter has gotten me into Tate McRae, who's a Calgary artist, a young girl.
Yeah.
She's a great artist. I love listening to her songs. And what else do we listen to? We listen to just about anything. I'll listen to everything from old Janet Jackson um, to there's an artist that I like named Ishe Ribo. There's this, if you find this playlist that's essential hits from France that we love.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, there's just so much. We listen to a lot of world music. Um, I don't know. I can think of a million things, even Slipknot.
There you go.
Depends
Some
on,
heavy stuff in
yeah,
there.
everything. We love
Nice.
everything. We love every kind of music.
Nice. Well, listen, congrats on finally the long-awaited release of Champion, and looking forward to the upcoming Dance album, soon to
Thank
be released.
you.
Where can people go, Biff, to get your music, to listen, to find out when your next gig is? Is there? I know you don't have all the technology, but you must have a website people can go to.
Absolutely. But you know what? They can find us on Instagram, Facebook. They can just go and follow us on socials. They can go to YouTube. They can see the videos there. They can get the music. And there's always the link in the bio that they can find all of the shows.
Awesome. And I'm guessing they can just go onto their favorite search engine and type in Bif Naked, and they'll find everywhere you're at.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right, Biff, thank you so much for joining us. Next time we chat, I'm going to do my best. There'll be no microphones, no cameras. We'll just grab a coffee or something.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.